Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to the worst reviews ever. Got Casey, Fred in here, Wally, and Amazing. So before we jump into the movie review, how's everybody doing? And I see the Chiefs are still undefeated.
Yeah, what's up? What's up, baby?
We give you a couple seconds to
Yeah.
pop your collar. So they going undefeated this year, or
Hey, 8-0, undefeated, baby. What's up, Wally? You know what I'm saying? Hey, you gotta put the whole hand out. Don't put out one finger. Come on now, Wally. You know what I'm saying? Stop scratching your forehead, brother. You be all
Wally
right.
said
Come
he
on
knew
now.
this was coming when you come back. He was like, "Hey."
Hey, come on, the paraphernalia, man. Hey, let me just go ahead and get this out the way. I want to give a shout out to Hate Free Apparel. You know what I'm saying? Kansas City is all of a sudden representing. They got these jerseys out. You guys can go ahead and get them. They even got a size for you, Wally, if you need one. And then I want to also give
Wally
give
said
a
he'll never
shout
put
out.
that garbage on.
Hey, I want to give out a shout to people that are watching. There's a place called Lucid Shop LLC, and they literally make a KC Fred right here. You know what I'm saying? Lights up, baby. You know what
They
I
getting
mean?
you
They
geared up. I saw
red,
that.
baby. Yeah. So, hey, they're watching, man. We got a lot of fans, especially KC fans up in here. So I want to just give a shout out to all of them. And we just gonna go ahead and remain undefeated. Be down in New Orleans where the party is gonna be at my home state, Louisiana. Win this Super Bowl, make history, and booyah! You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. But all right, yeah, shout out to them. Now I like that jersey, that hoodie, man. I might have to. I'm definitely gonna check them out. But all
Hey,
right, let me
check
go ahead and pull these slides. So the movie that we're gonna review today is Circle. So just to kind of give some background on this, Circle is a 2015 American science fiction psychological thriller film written and directed by Aaron Han and Mario Misone. So the plot of this is there was a bunch of people on an alien spaceship that were held captive and faced with imminent executions. 50 strangers are forced to choose the one person among them who deserves to live. So, all right, let me go ahead and jump into the next slide. So, directors and producers, directed by, again, Aaron Han and Mario Misone, produced by Justin Bursch, Scott, I'm not even going to butcher it, Michael Nardelli, Tim Nardelli, and Brent Steffel. So, all right, jumping into the cast. So, for the cast on this movie, Allegra Masters as the pregnant girl, Amy McKay as Beth, Ashley Key as young girl, Autumn Frederici as woman number 4, Bill Lewis as the oldest man, Brent Stifle as young man, Cameron Connery as guy, and Carter Jenkins as college guy. So, they gave the weird names because typically in this movie there wasn't a top ton of people that like exposed their names, and they kind of just had like a system where they didn't really know each other. So yeah, there was the names wasn't too relevant in this movie. But all right, here we go. Jump into the rating, and I'm actually definitely want to see what y'all rating on this movie was. So all right, Fred, since you've been gone for a little bit, we gonna start you off with the rating. What you rate this movie?
I gave it a 7, man.
All right, so you gave it a 7, in between good and very good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Amazing.
I was actually going to go between 7 and 7.5, so I'll stick with the 7 right now as well.
All right. Today we got some losers on our hands. I'm sensing this already. I'm gonna have to turn up on you guys. All right, Wally. So Casey, hold on. Casey, Fred, you had 7. What was yours, Amazing?
7.
Okay, 7. Okay, so both of
Let's
y'all
go,
feeling
Wally.
loserish today. So Wally, what do you?
Peer pressure.
I'm gonna say this one thing. I looked at the ratings. I hear some decency, but here's my thing. For me, looking at this movie, this was literally a 3.5.
You are what? Did you watch The Right Circle?
Oh no, I watched The Right Circle. That shit was pointless to me.
God.
All right, we definitely gotta. I got pushed back off the jump. Let me
Oh,
get my
yeah.
rating.
Please, please
My
do.
rating for this
Please do. I
movie.
wish you would try to push back on me with
Oh,
this
I got
movie.
pushed
I
back.
wish you would. I wish you would. Lord have mercy. This is that I watch. Look, I said, like I said before, I read some comments. I seen what they said.
Oh my god.
Even then, though, I still sit here and say that shit was trash.
Yeah, wildin'. This is the sophisticated jerk rates this movie. I'm talking in third person today. Damn it, Wally got me worked up. I got to give this a 9.1, man. This is classic territory.
Oh, woo!
9.1.
Wait to see how you break this down.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you talking? Go ahead. You start off. I can't wait to hear you say this mess. I can't wait.
Not a problem, Wally. Not a problem.
Oh, please.
So my rating for this movie, 9.1, classic. And why I give that rating? First of all, let me just jump. Would I recommend this movie to anyone? Absolutely. So the reason I gave this a 9.1, because first of all, it kind of ties into the plot and the storyline. This was unique. Nobody like really did a movie of this magnitude, this plot, this storyline where, you know, they left a lot of mystery, but there was also where it showed the dynamic of like human nature and preservation for self. So it's like they had the opportunity to kind of be moral, but you know, they kind of it forced people in that true inner nature to come out in the survival mode. So you had like racism in there, you had genderism, there was a you know, religion was in there, like same-sex type stuff was in there where people were trying to pull it out, and ageism. So it just showed like these people were conniving. People were like sitting there, the married couple in there where they were like, shit, let's act like we're married. So people have some sympathy. Then, you know, people were sitting there like, oh, just lying on other people. Oh, that guy's a criminal over there. I know him. Oh, this person was a corn star. You know, I seen them in these films. So it's like everybody was just conniving. So for it, you know, I love that element that they showed, where it's just like some people were too talkative, some people didn't talk enough. Then it boiled down to like the last decision between the little girl, the pregnant woman, and the one guy. So I just loved like the back and forth and how they had to figure out the game and how people were manipulating the game. And then it was also the mystery of like, okay, why are we in this like UFO type thing or this thing, and why were we chosen? You know, do they want only like a specific type of person? Do they want to have somebody already selected who they want to win? So it was like all that, you know, dynamic where you couldn't figure it out. So I love the mystery to it. I love like I said, the whole, it's kind of like a chess, but with your life on the line. So I think it was very unique. I ain't seen too many movies that had this type of plot with 50 people in there. Like nobody really knew each other. No, the names was kind of irrelevant. It was all about like, hey, who's the wittiest person? And at the end, it was the one guy that kind of manipulated the whole game. He kind of came off as like a good guy, like, hey, I'll be the one to sacrifice myself at the end. He was like, nope. So the whole time he was just exit people off, balancing the numbers, letting other people that were like super talkative and over the edge, he kind of like let them like vocalize a lot of stuff. And, you know, he between the middle, when he kind of figured it out, he was like, okay, I'm gonna be quiet. Let me kind of play the good guy, take lead now, and act like I'm gonna sacrifice myself. And then at the end, I like the one scene where all those people are looking up at the UFO, and it's just like you see pregnant people, you see little kids, but you do see some guys in there. So it's just like, all right, some other people that were in UFOs are those like whatever it was, aliens and stuff like that. Some people play the game right by morality. Save the pregnant women and the children, and then you see some of the other guys like, okay, yeah, we gamed the system. So everybody's just looking up at the sky. So then it just also left like, hey, what was the purpose of all this? Were they like then in the herd, or were they trying to like the aliens, whatever, trying to like study humans and see like how they react in these type of situations? So no, I mean, I love the gray area. Like a lot of stuff was unsolved, and I did see that they're coming out with a part 2. So I'm definitely interested in how they're gonna tie it in with that. But great movie, great concept. like I said, you didn't need all the special effects. It was just all like a mental type game. So nah, definitely 9.1. Wally is tripping. Wally, you're next. Tell me why you wrong, Wally.
You ain't even done. I don't know why you eat. See, look at you. You ain't even done.
9.1.
You ain't know what scene stuck out? What everything else? Oh,
I pointed them out. I went on, honestly, it was like a lot of them. I like the end scene where they're looking up and then you could kind of read in between the lines. Like I said, when the crowd is looking out there, you saw kids, pregnant women. So it's just like, hey, some people did have morality. Some people was like, you know what? Damn that.
There was no morality in this bitch.
So yeah. But overall, like everything kind of just ran together. So that's why I'm saying not too many specific scenes besides that one. Because like I said, everything was just consistently tied with each other. So it's one of those movies where flowed good. It wasn't too long. It was always action in it because it was like every 2 minutes somebody was going down and they had to make a decision how they wanted to strategize on that. So that's what I'm saying. It was a good concept, man. There was not too many concepts like this. So y'all wilding with y'all low scores. All right, Wally, it's your turn. So, so the last one, if I was director or the producer of this movie, I wouldn't change a thing. I would just change how Wally viewed this movie and why he is totally wrong. So, all right, Wally, do you, since you're the other outlier?
You don't have nothing to
say. Ladies and gentlemen.
Look at this score, 3.5. That is...
Ladies and gentlemen, my score is a 3.5. And why did I get this rating? It's real simple. This movie, starting off and up. Okay, yes, you pretty much teleport them to a ship. As we all found out, that's what they were in, a ship. And you set them right in a nice bubble spot, in a nice circle where they all have to be positioned. And Lord knows, if you end up screwing yourself over by moving from that circle, you get zapped and killed. If you try to quote unquote escaping, even though you don't even know where they're escaping from. And let's be honest, most of these bodies are getting snatched up off the ground anyways, which we don't even know who the hell been doing that. But okay.
Mystery.
Whatever. Yeah, mystery. Yeah, they call this a horror film, which honestly, this is no horror film. This is just a bunch of sci-fi with mystery. That's all this really is. The horror film part. Where was the horror? Where was the horror? Again,
you're low rated.
Again, this horrible behind movies where y'all keep saying that this movie was supposed to be this, and it never was this. This is not horror. This is just sci-fi with mystery. Congratulations. You did very well with that part. Small.
I got pushback.
What I remember this movie to anybody, honestly, would I remember this movie to anybody? Sure, because you know what this reminds me of? But just like on a slightly worse tip, Saw. The movie that is not comparable to anything. And go look back at Saw and look at this. There's some comparisons between these two. You think I'm lying?
Oh,
go look at some reviews because they'll tell you that same shit. Because literally, I could easily see this as being somewhat similar. Because it was pretty much the same thing. Not exactly the same thing, but it was similar. As far as what I think about the plot and the storyline, honestly, pathetically boring because there was no reason for you to be there other than just magically being there. I remember. I came here. We were all stopped was driving on the road, and then it was locked up. Everyone, for some reason, started to run. We're starting to run for some apparent reason. I don't know for what reasons. Next thing you know, we just got zapped up, and I'm like, and we're here. Really? Everyone just gets zapped up, and next thing you know, you're just there. No true memory. And even if part of you is remembering one of the story, and then another one, and slowly and surely, all y'all remembering some details which connect you to the next person or the next person, and then the rest of you just don't have no real memory of anybody else. Okay, interesting. That was there for what reasons? Just to amp up the ratio of the murder and the killing, just to amp up the environment of just the trauma that's going to be built in who should be killed next. Lovely. Congratulations. You pretty much prey on people's weaknesses and backstrap stories. Congratulations. That should add on to the murder attempts and everything else. Cool. All right, cool, fine. After that, what else? Honestly, like, let's be real here. There's no protagonist in this damn thing. Like, literally, I'm over here just sitting there looking at this like, ooh, who's gonna be next? That's all I'm looking at. Who's gonna be next?
You said there's no protagonist?
Huh? There was no protagonist. Who's the protagonist?
Damn, man, everybody in the ship.
That's not no protagonist. Those are just nothing but silly. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Those are not protagonists. That's not protagonists. You got a bunch of people out there literally about to murk each other just for the severities of their survivor, just to survive. And then what even makes it worse, you put a kid in there? A kid? Wow, okay. I see where this is going. Literally, I see where this is going. And then, the way we can pick and shift our hands, and we can just select who we got to go. But no one else can see the other person's arrow. You can only see your own arrow and who you're selecting. So how the hell everyone knows who they're selecting? That's not really confirmed. Like, really? This is not really planned well. Sue me, 3.5. I don't care about none of the scenes, none of the I don't even want to hear about what to change.
Ollie tripping.
Don't make the fucking movie.
Ooh, wow, look at
Wally's tripping. Wilding today.
What is
I know
in that
what I
drink?
watched. That was pointless. I hated it.
All right, amazing. You're up.
Rating. I actually thought she made several good points. I'll give you
Who,
that
me?
for one.
Damn sure was a Wally.
Right, like your points were solidarity.
Yes.
One thing real quick, amazing. So Wally, did you guess like who was gonna die or who was gonna survive at the end of the movie? Did you have a clue?
Did you not hear what I just said? I pretty much watched these mofos just go left and right on each other. You think I care who's gonna die and live? No.
He don't want to answer that because he knows he's like, that's what I'm telling you. That's the
really
brilliance of this movie. I had no idea.
I did not choose nobody. I did not choose.
Okay,
Even when
okay.
it came across the end, even if I were to sit here and say, okay, the last four, you got the dude that was the douchebag underneath, you got the quiet dude that never made no choice, and then you got the two women. You got the little girl, and then you got the woman with the baby. The funny part was when they zapped the woman, but managed to let the baby live, and then still had to make a choice on that one, and then somehow he ends up living because he just shit his hand because he just pointed at that direction. Like, let's be honest here. The thing is, here's another reason why I don't like the movie. Even if they didn't choose and shift their hands and did none of that, they always still been murked eventually. Why? Because the so-called aliens would have killed them anyways. Again, story is trash.
Nah, see, you didn't get it because like they had to make the choices. That's how they control the arrow. That's how they made their selection.
Again,
But all right, let me get amazing.
The arrow part. I acknowledge the arrow part, but the thing is this: everyone cannot acknowledge the same person. So how is the next person gonna see the next person's arrow and knowing that they chose them? It's not.
They could vote the same person.
I'm gonna go ahead. Sorry
Go
to
ahead.
interrupt. So, because mine ties into this a little bit, just because. Okay, so I already gave the rating. Would I recommend the movie? Yes. And what I liked about the plot and storyline is, even if you can't see who the other person is choosing, so on your arrow you see who you're choosing, but it goes all back based to like your value system and your own bias against other people. So when he was like this sex worker, and then you have, they're married, I have 7 children, well I have 12 children, like everybody's kind of trying to like throw each other under the bus, but it all comes back to your individual value system. And do I value that, and do I look down upon you? And to me, it was like even perfect timing, like with it being this week. So like you could take the political arena and be like, if you support this person, I think less of you. If you support that person, I think you're lower. You know what I mean? Like it's just everywhere right now. So I thought it was like perfect timing. And then it even just like, because this happens, I feel like, especially during like stressful time. So it made me think of COVID, right? Like when COVID first came in, you know, people were dying. Nobody knew what was going on. You didn't know, like, you're at the hospitals. You didn't know, how do I protect myself? Then it was, okay, what if we run out of ventilators? Well, who qualifies for a ventilator? Do we give old people one if we're running out? Do we give people that smoke one? Do we give people that have the vaccine versus didn't have the vaccine? But it all goes back to your own value system and judging other people. And basically thinking somebody's value is less than your own, depending on what their belief system is, what their color is, what their sexual preference is, like anything. So I did like that a lot. I thought some of the scenes were actually kind of funny also, just like, you know, how they were trying to throw shots at each other. Some of it I did also think was amusing. I definitely wouldn't have considered it myself a horror movie, definitely sci-fi. I wouldn't have considered it horror. The other thing, though, is to me, which again goes back into real life, is the young guy at the end. I don't remember what his name was, but when right? So you have the young guy, the pregnant lady, and the young girl. And he convinces the young girl, like, they're going to go down together while he picks the pregnant woman. So, like, he makes it kind of seem like, oh, we, you know, like, kind of like a protector the whole time. Yet he is like the most conniving one out of them all, that takes out the young girl, basically makes her take out her own self while he takes out the pregnant woman. And it made me think of, like, when people say, oh, to get to the top, you have to, like, be willing to, like, cutthroat, be the most conniving. So I thought, like, it even pulled that in a little bit. So anyways, I liked it. I actually would watch it again. One, because I was working a little bit as well. So I know I missed pieces that I would find interesting. And I agree. Like, this, it's hard to pick specific scenes because really it was like the same thing over and over, just different judgment scenarios. Like, I'm going to judge you because of your color. I'm going to judge you because of your sexual orientation. I'm going to judge you because you have a family or don't. I'm going to judge you because you're old. I'm going to judge you because you have an illness that could kill you anyhow. So, like, it was like the same thing over and over, but like so many different bias that we all know people have and have them ourselves. So I thought that was super interesting. So I can't necessarily pick anything aside from, like you had said, the scene at the very end when it's just like
the sophisticated jerk has no biases against anybody. We're all one.
I could already pick. I knew who you would be, like, zap, zap, zap. I knew you.
Facts. Self-preservation. I would have been one of the people looking up at the sky, like, hey, YouTube player.
But at the end, like, the one scene, or actually, so two scenes. So the one scene where it comes out that the one man he didn't speak and he didn't pick anybody. So I thought that was super interesting. Like, he is like, I'm not, basically, like, I'm not doing this. I'm not playing this game. And ended up dying anyways. But you could say he was the only one who died with any sort of morality.
The people that volunteered, I think that you got to put them in there.
Them as well. Yeah, I agree. And then, and I also thought that actually made me think of the lady who volunteered who had lost her son. I just thought that was a very interesting, again, because like real life stuff, when you know people that have lost children, you know, like they'll say stuff that I could see them volunteering. And then, what else? Okay, so the volunteers. And then, like you said, the scene at the end when it's just those couple of men, and then it's like the pregnant women and the children. So it's kind of like, oh man, if it's up to you guys for the human race, depending on what happens with the alien ship, you're gonna have to go with the total douchebags. Like, that's all that's left.
Some say assholes make great leaders. So the one scene that stood out was when the one little boy, he's like, I'll volunteer. And he was like, hey, you're a patriot, Scott. And they were like, after he like jumped off They were like, his name is Sean. He was like, yeah, whatever.
That's this, like the 16-year-old boy or something.
Yeah. He was like, hey, I'll do it. He was like, hey, you're a patriot, Scott. My boy jumped out there like, his name was Sean. He was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Fred.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I might even have to go up a little bit on this, man. After hearing
Great job,
all
Fred.
Because
Welcome back, Fred. I love you.
Wally is whack, but I'm not for sure. Maybe he needs to get a haircut so that way he could really get those glasses clean. I got some Windex for about $2.99. They got to run a special. We can get those glasses clean because. Honestly, this was a survival movie. Now, I know you're getting all caught up on the horror, but I got some pushback on that because the horror is supposed to be how they got killed.
Turn up, Fred.
This came out in 2015. You're trying to compare it to 2024. With the way they kill now, it was never like that. But back in 2015, to get zapped by a laser like that, and that's how you got killed, yeah, that's horror because one thing, nobody saw that coming. I mean, the only time you ever got zapped like that was Ghostbusters, but nobody even believed in that, even back then. But to really get zapped, come on, man. Wally, if you get tased right now, believe me, you would feel some kind of way. So, like I said, to get zapped by a laser like that, there's no coming back from there. A gun, Tupac got shot 5 times and still lived. You know what I mean? 50 Cent, he done got shot so many times, still lived. But at the end of the day, a laser, nobody's coming back from there. That's where the horror comes in. The first thing they said was drama. There was so much drama in here. It actually could have been, as you guys know, I love miniseries. That's what it really could have been, just breaking down people's lives and stuff. And then the sci-fi, the UFOs took care of that. That's what really made that. And then the other thing was the mystery because you never knew who was going to be next. This kind of reminds me of that show called Survival because at the end of the day, there's a verse in the Bible that says, with the same measure you judge, you shall be also judged accordingly or as well. So at the end of the day, I'm thinking to myself, you can't all of a sudden get away from this game. You stuck in here and it's all of a sudden time. They started with generalizations as far as judging because they wanted to do it with age. Then as the circles started getting smaller and smaller, now they're all of a sudden they're realizing, okay, I could be next. And the more that they started realizing that they could be next, that's when that survival mode kicked in. And one of the guys that really stuck out to me the most was that banker dude, that old dude. And then he was the one that was talking about, well, you know, I have 7 kids, you know, like that. And I'm also a banker. What do you do for a living? You know, and it was just like, now you trying to make yourself all of a sudden like you got stock, like you should deserve to be here compared to somebody else. And then of course it also reminded me of when they started getting into teams, you know what I'm saying? And we just need 5 more people, we just need 6 more people, you know, we just need 2 more, you know, come on, you can switch over to our side and stuff like that, like it was just a, you know, battleship or something like that. So I thought that was hilarious too. Would I recommend this movie? Yeah, I definitely would recommend this movie because it's one of those, I feel like everyone can almost see themselves some way, some capacity, because nobody wants to be able to say that, oh yeah, I wouldn't judge nobody. Oh, you know, but there's nobody that's perfect up under the sun. It says everybody is falling short. So as far as I was concerned, yeah, this is a good movie for everyone to be able to check out, and I would definitely recommend it. Do I like the plot and the storyline? Yes, I actually do like the plot and storyline because at the end of the day, everybody doesn't know why they're there, but they all of a sudden are forced to be in this game. And it's a very serious game because it deals with life and death. And there's no way of getting out of it. The people that try to walk away got zapped, lasered, killed. The people that all of a sudden say, well, I'm just going to not do anything, not make any decision, guess what? They got zapped and killed. The people that wanted to all of a sudden just go ahead and commit suicide and say, you know what? Forget it. Guess what? They got zapped and killed. Then the people that all of a sudden started judging and all of a sudden saying that they were better than somebody else, guess what? They got zapped and killed. So at the end of the day, even with the arrows and stuff and people using their hand and stuff like that and started judging more and more, I'm just trying to tell you, it was just like, I go have to piggyback on what Amazing said, that that's where your morale, that's where your self-conscious, that's where your morals really come into play. And who are you? What are you about? What do you believe in? How does it affect you? And how do you see yourself? Or do you see yourself worthy to be alive? Or do you see yourself as, you know what, when it's my time, hey, it's my time to go. And so you just saw so many different variables in it. I have to say, at the beginning, when they was talking about age, I thought that was hilarious at the beginning because they started at 50. And then it just seemed like from there, they started working their way down. And then they was asking how old people was. And then all of a sudden they got into, like you guys were saying, gender. They got into that one woman where all of a sudden, who are you married to? And then the guy finds out that she's gay. And that was cool until all of a sudden they found out that she was raising a daughter. And they was like, wait a minute, 2 women raising a daughter? Then that's when he all of a sudden just had a very serious problem with it. But guess what? When the light came down, guess who they all voted for? They voted for the guy that was asking all those questions. That moment, and he got zapped. And I just thought that was hilarious, you know. And he was making his little pitch, hey, morals matter and this, that. And, you know, one of the young kids was like, dude, we're not in the 1950s, man. You need to really stop that. But at the end of the day, it was all, everyone was judging. And their judging was all about survival and who was going to survive. I think of the tall dude with the that was real tall, that had the Fabio hair, if y'all remember correctly.
Yeah,
blonde hair,
beard and stuff.
over there trying to make teams up, and we need 5 more, we need 3 more people to be on our side or whatever. And what was the hilarious is when it came to the zapping, it didn't matter if it was one person, it didn't matter if it was 2 persons, and then one time you even saw 4 people got zapped at the same time, and he was like the only one still standing. And so, like I said before, it was so much stuff that was going down, and you saw their real character. Because, like, I remember the black guy that was on there, and he was like, what are you trying to say, man? You know, what, just because I'm black or whatever. And that cop was all of a sudden, you could just tell. We all, I don't care who you was. If you was watching this movie, I hate to talk about cops, but you wanted him to go because he really showed that he was a crooked cop and that he was a racist. And he was all of a sudden say, yeah, you need to get out of here. You need to go. What, you think you entitled, you know, and all this other stuff. And then, I mean, the laser came fast, quick, in a hurry. I thought people was going to start clapping after that, you know. So it was just really good. I did like how it ended because at the end of the day, it had that little twist where you never knew who was going to end up being. At one time, there was one point I really thought the little girl was going to make it. And then I thought, well, wait a minute, you know, the pregnant lady could make it. And then the baby would live. And so, you know, that dude that was manipulating. And I was saying to myself the whole time, I said, man, I wonder if he was in the game before and he got put into this game. But then at the very end, didn't it seem like to you guys, next thing you know, he went from that game to getting ready to be in another game? I was trying to figure all that out at the end. But yeah, it was just like really cool. And I'm really kind of looking forward to actually, you know, part 2 to this. I think it would be awesome. I think it would carry on. In fact, Wally, I think I'm going to move it up to a 7.5. I ain't even going to wait, bro. I'm just going to go ahead and move it up to 7.5. Because the more I keep talking about it, I even convinced my own self that they did good on this. Remember, Wally, this is 2015, not 2024. You're all of a sudden comparing it to other things, but the reality is back then, there was no movie like this ever. Think about it. Pull up your 2015 movies, man. And I ain't talking about Blockbuster because Blockbuster was long gone before that. But during that year, during that time, this movie was hot. It was on the scene, and everybody was intrigued about it because at the end of the day, it kept you going all the way to the end. It kept you tied up to the movie to figure out, okay, who is going to make it to the end. And that's the reason why they have all these different shows out in 2024, Love is Blind and all this other stuff, because you're trying to figure out what couples are going to make it and this, that, and the other. And this Circle movie, you was trying to figure out who's going to literally make it to the end. And so it was almost like place your bets, you know. In football, it's the Kansas City Chiefs, baby. We gonna make it to the end, you know what I'm saying? Undefeated, untied, you know what I'm saying? But that's how it was. And so it kept your attention and it made you feel like, hey, this was worthy of the movie. I ate nachos, I finished them. It wasn't like it was a horror movie, like you said, but at the end of the day, that laser and that zapping, there was no coming back from that. And so would I change anything differently? Nah, I'm just ready for the next movie to come out, the Circle 2. You know what I mean? So that's what I felt about it. It was really good.
Yeah, I think I like the simplicity of it. Plus, it was just like figuring out where they were at. That was one dimension. Then it was like the inner relationships are, you know, dynamic of the people. There was another dynamic. Then it was like trying to figure out the game with them, because it was like, hey, they don't understand the concept, so you're going along with it. And then Wally had a good point. It was just like, how did they get in the ship? So I like how they left a lot of gray area too. Maybe in the second part, they're going to elaborate on that. So I think they did a great job, like structuring this and how simple it was. It was just like, man, it didn't need a big budget. You know, they didn't even have like no real, you know, big actors in there. It was just like, hey, it's regular people. So I like how they did that. You know, they didn't slap a bunch of like ultra stars and, you know, big celebrities in there. It was just like, hey, it looked like everyday people that, you know, like you said, Fred, like people that would, if they were put in this dynamic, like would be faced with these type of decisions. Yeah. But before we go to the change your ratings go, I wanted to ask you guys, like, because you had me thinking, if you was in this thing, would you do the moral thing and choose like the person with the say that was pregnant, or would you do self-preservation? I'll start with you, Fred. Would you do the moral thing?
I don't know. There's this thing that says no greater love than the one that lays his life down for a friend. So at the end of the day, especially at the age I am, I think I probably would do the moral thing, just to be honest with you. For the simple fact of it is, you know, if they could like make it, I would want them to, compared to all of a sudden I've lived a awesome and great life. And, you know, I probably would go that route, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's what I would probably do. Just being honest with you.
Okay. What about you, Amazing?
I mean, I want to say I wouldn't pick any, but like I want to say I would be the silent person who just like would not participate, and eventually I would just have to take mine. But like I always like these questions, and it actually makes me think of like I don't know if anybody's ever taken like an ethics class, but they give you the most random things that you have to choose between. And then come up with why you chose that. But either way, it's just like terrible to think about. And I'm trying to think of one example from when our son took ethics, and he was telling me about the scenario just because I love dogs. And it was like the scenario, I think, was like if you have to choose one or the other, and one is I want to say it was like somebody has to die, and it's either going to be a person who is like guilty of a major crime, like murder or something like that, or like 100 puppies. What do you pick? I mean, I'm like, well, that guy's a murderer. Kind of feel like I would save the puppies, but I don't know. I just think like questions like that, like if somebody was like, "Oh, that guy killed somebody." I mean, would you really at that point? Then the decision would be harder. I want to say I would be the silent person who chose nobody. But I also know if you said the right thing, it would really have me considering pointing my laser.
She definitely would be trying to. She's the manipulator in this person. What about you, Wally? If you was in this, you was placed in this situation, would you do the moral thing, or are you going all out self-preservation?
My option's real simple. Neither. I just choose death.
Oh, okay. It's self-preservation for your boy. I'm gonna be in there. Ding, ding. I'm gonna be like my man in there, because even going back to what you were saying, Fred, where he was controlling the game, because even when it came down like with the guy where some of the outspoken ones, and he was zapped the other person, because he knew, he was like, hey, if I keep some of these assholes around, it makes my game even better. So he was smart how he was like kind of manipulating the game. He was like, I need to keep him around because people hate him. So let me get rid of one of the innocents. Then I'll let them fixate on one of the bad people. And then he went kind of back and forth and stuff. So he had the game figured out. He was just like, and it was funny.
Did he have it figured out, or had he been in it before?
He wasn't in it.
Huh?
Because you could tell how he was looking at the spaceship. He just figured out the people dynamic. He was like, shh. Like I said, he was quiet from the beginning, and then he started kind of merging himself in. He let like people expose their like, pettiness and all that. So he let that play out, and then he kind of came in as like, okay, I could take the good guy role, and I could zap a couple people nobody would know, get them out of there, so that it looks like one of the assholes did it. So yeah, he was playing a game. He was like, I know what's going on.
End scene though, that was like master conniver, like literally to get the little girl and be so we'll do it together while he zaps the pregnant lady. So they both I'm like, whoa.
But they even gave him one more chance. You remember with the baby, because I don't think he was expecting that. He was like, yeah, nice try. I was like, give me my prize. Oh, you're gonna judge me now? He turned into the straight jerk at the end. He should have got an Oscar for that role. Whoever that dude was. He manipulated the game. But all right, let me go ahead and go to the last slide. So Fred, you changing your score? You said you're going up 7.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up to 7.5 because, like I said, I liked it all the way to the end because it exposed everybody. And then, like, I have to agree with Manic. It's one thing if all of a sudden, because I remember this movie called, I want to say, was it called Shaft or something like that? It was like a Christian movie, and the guy was like, "Hey, you have to pick between your son and your daughter who's going to die," and he ended up picking himself because he couldn't pick between one of his kids to die. And so, and when in that scenario, here it is in this particular thing, okay, it's a little harder because you don't know none of these people, and at the end of the day, would you still be willing to die for somebody that you don't know? And that's where it comes real deep, and you be like, okay. And like Amazing was saying before, what is your moral value compass? Where are you at? So I don't know. It was deep, man. And that's what I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed it, because there were so many different categories and so many elements that you could literally talk about. And everyone talks about, huh?
Oh, I was about to say, shout out to y'all for having morals, because boy, let me be in that movie. Like, you know how they do those like future flashes, like 6 months later, I'll be doing an interview, eating shrimp and steak. They be like, hey, so how'd you feel about your time on the ship? I'll be like, man, I ain't even like those people. But shout out to me for winning. No morals whatsoever. Sorry to cut you off, Fred. I just wanted to get that out.
Oh, no, that's good. That's good. But like, it just made you just realize that, I mean, like I said before, getting shot, okay, cool. Getting stabbed, you can live. But there was no coming back from the laser. I mean, that was it. That was a wrap. There was no, let me talk 5 more minutes and, then die or whatever. No, that was that was end of the show. It was like guillotine, take your head
Yeah,
off.
that laser was cold. All
All
right, let me get amazing. Amazing, you going up, down, you staying the same?
I actually think I'm gonna pop up to an 8.
Damn,
All
okay,
right.
okay. So you in very good, excellent territory. All right. Usually Wally's on point. I don't know what happened this week. I don't know if he had a bad time, you know.
He had a bad burrito.
What's going on, Wally? You staying the same?
Bad week.
3.5. You going up, down, you staying the same?
Did he just flip us off again? Did he put us on mute?
I only got one thing to say about this movie. So, well, actually, a few things. Because you said 2014. What movie did I say that was 2014 that was similar to this movie?
We were talking about horror though. We were talking about horror. You said there's no horror in this movie.
What
and I was talking
movie?
about the way they killed it. That's where the horror came in. There was a little bit of everything in this movie. You had drama. It said horror. It also said mystery. It also said sci-fi. So you had a little bit of everything. You couldn't say that there was no horror because back in 2015, getting killed by a laser, there was nothing like this movie. This is the first of its kind back in 2015. Now, since then, 2014, you couldn't put this movie out now because everybody's seeing all kinds of different levels to this. But back then, there was nothing like this.
Well, Saw did come out of 2004. There was like a similarity, but very different. So I give Wally a little bit of that because I didn't even think about the Saw series, but I think how they put it on the ship, it made it different in people dynamics where they had to guess versus each other. But all right, go ahead, Wally. What was you? You staying the same? You going up or down?
He going up
4.5.
Oh, okay. So you put it in a decent territory. Shout out to Wally, man. Being a team player. So he got to the decent territory, but Wally wasn't feeling this was. So shout out to Wally.
Look at me like he about to cry because the Chiefs.
Yeah, Wally's like,
oh, come on now, let us be all right, Wally.
But all right, y'all, we'll go around and get the outros real quick. So amazing. Any parting words?
Oh, gosh, it's been a rough week and good too. But that's it. That's all I got.
All right, Casey, Fred, parting words.
Oh yeah, hey, you guys go ahead, like hate free. Like I said, apparel. Get your KC Chiefs jersey. They got jackets. They got hoodies.
You said hate free.
I'm wearing here. Logistics got your name badge. The lights up. Like I said, KC Fred on there. You can get yours too, Wally. Amazing. Jerk, Manic.
Yeah, I'm gonna order some. I'm getting on there tonight.
So, like I said, and that's Lucid Shops LLC. I want to thank them. And like I said, this was a good movie. I definitely recommend it to everybody because, like I said, it's one of those, it does cause you to think. You can't say that this movie didn't make you think. And then it makes you question who are you also in this movie. Because one thing, there was many people, that a lot of people could see themselves in this movie. And would I do the right thing? Would I be the person, like you guys were saying, that couple that was lying and then got caught? Would I be the person that all of a sudden was just, giving out all my, racist views and stuff? Or the person, Fabio, that was trying to be the team leader and try to get everybody on his side? I mean, or would I be the banker that's all of a sudden he knows he doesn't have a chance unless he tries to prove that he's worthy of living? I mean, there was so many different ways that you could like see yourself, or like the people that all of a sudden, just turned their back and said, hey, you know what? I'll go ahead and sacrifice myself. So, I mean, it was, like I said, it was good. And I enjoyed it. And I think everybody should check it out.
All right. The man, the myth, the legend, Wally. Parting words.
Have a good day, folks. Have a good day.
Shout out to Wally. All right, so my parting words. Frederick asked a very good question, and it was like, who would you be, and how would your morality be in this type of situation? And it had me thinking, I ain't shit. So you in a shit with me, you're gonna die. Like self-preservation all the way. Shout out to Fred though.
Here comes the
I have no morality. It's been gone since 1998. So you want to bullshit with me? Even Amazing could get it. Everybody's gotta go. It's all about self-preservation. But hey, man. We out of here. Peace.
Peace.